Fear is a very real thing. Sometimes it causes rational people to do irrational things. Consider the prophet Elijah, who was walking in the realm of the miraculous and single-handedly defeated 300 prophets of Baal one day, but the very next day, one woman by the name of Jezebel single-handedly put fear in his heart, and he ran into the desert crying, "It is enough, I'm ready to die." Peter was walking on the water one minute, the very next he looked down and became afraid and began to sink. In recent days, the uncertainty associated with the coronavirus, COVID-19, has created a lot of fear. Please allow or follow all of the Center for Disease Control guidelines and recommendations. Take every precaution, but do not allow fear to cause you, someone rational, to do something irrational. Fear, according to the Holman's Illustrated Bible Dictionary, is a natural emotional response to perceived threat to one's security or general welfare. Fear is very real. Maybe that's why the term "fear not" or "be not afraid" appear more than 300 times in the Bible. God understands that his children will experience fear. The coronavirus has been declared a pandemic global catastrophe. But this is not the first time we have had cause for fear of a global and pandemic level. At the turn of the century, fear of the Y2K bug drove people into stores to stock up on every kind of food product imaginable. At 12 o'clock midnight, churches all across America were filled to capacity for watch night services. The new year came and it went, and life went on without a hitch, a glitch, or a problem. This is not even the first time we have seen a healthcare scare of pandemic status. Do you recall Ebola, SARS? Yes, we have seen trouble and we've been through the storms of life before, but why does God allow storms? Why doesn't God quiet the storm? I have learned that when God chooses not to quiet the storm, he can elect to quiet his child in the middle of the storm. Psalm 23 verse 4 says, "Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me." I found comfort and help for my own fears in 3 words that appear in Psalm 23 and 4. David said, "Yea, though I have to walk in the valley." Then he says, "I will walk through the valley." Finally, David says, "I will fear no evil because thou art with me." When David says though, he's facing the possibility of danger. David is saying in this life, we will experience difficult circumstances. You never know what the next minute is going to bring. The next phone call, the next text message, the next letter, the next knock on the door, the next turn around the corner may throw you into a walk down the valley of the shadow of death. Being a child of God does not buffer you from trouble. It simply means that we have someone we can go to and turn to in the midst of our trouble, someone who walks with us in the middle of our troubles. According to Psalm 34:19, "Many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivers them from them all." Did you hear that? It did not say many are the afflictions of the unsaved. It did not say many are the afflictions of the ungodly. Many are the afflictions of the righteous. But the other side of that verse sure gives you hope. The Lord delivers them from them all. We've all had some those in our life. Job had a though. Job said, "Though they slay me, yet will I trust him." Habakkuk had some those in his life. Though the fig tree does not bud, and there are no grapes on the vine, though the olive crop fails, and the fields produce no food, though there are no sheep in the pen and no cattle in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will be joyful in God, my salvation. Suggestion number 1, realize that trouble and danger are inevitable. Then David says, I'm going to walk through the valley. Not only do we have the possibility of dark days and dangerous circumstances, but we have a God who does not simply lead us into the valley and leave us there, but one who will walk us through the valley. If there was anybody who ever had to walk through some valleys, it was David. David walked in the valley of suffering when Saul persecuted him. He walked in the valley when his own son tried to take his throne. David knew valleys. He even threw himself into a valley when he sinned with Bathsheba. But he repented and wrote one of the greatest Psalms of all time, Psalm 51. Remember, it was David who declared in Psalm 30 and 5, weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. David acknowledges the possibility of trouble. He says, yea, though I walk in the valley. He confirms God's ability to deliver us when he says, I will walk through the valley. Suggestion number 2, reflect upon the fact that God has brought you through dangers seen and unseen in the past. Finally, David acknowledges the presence of God in the midst of the valley when he says, thou art with me. The word thou is a personal pronoun. It is used to substitute the name of the individual. When David uses the personal pronoun thou, he's talking to someone. He's talking directly to God, someone with whom he has a personal relationship. The darkness of the valley is still there, but thou art with me. The coronavirus is still there, but thou art with me, and he's with you. Again, exercise precautions. Wash your hands often. Minimize touching your face. Maintain social distance to the greatest extent possible, but in the midst of it all, remember that thou art with you. God has not given us a spirit of fear, but a power, love, and a sound mind. Dangers are present, but God has brought us through them in the past, and he will take us through them in the present. Be careful. Be safe. Be encouraged, but be not afraid.